I can hear you. Maybe. I've got everything muted.
I know what I did wrong. How does this sound? Does this sound any better? Am I loud enough? Hearing an echo? Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Sorry, I'm obviously very experienced at this kind of stuff.
I wonder if I'm getting audio leakage from my headphones.
You know, that's a good question. Am I coming in very loud for you?
Yeah, I can turn you down. Hold on, please.
All right, that might be it. So, welcome to the second Hobo Slayers podcast ever. Still echo?
Okay, it was leakage from my headset. I should get inner ear ones for podcasty things.
Very quiet? See what I can do
Both
about
of
that.
us or just me?
Or me.
Hmm.
Still a
I've
little.
almost.
Oh, sorry.
Ah, it's all you.
Yeah,
Shoot, shoot.
I know. Let me monkey with the settings right quick, see if I can't fix this. You might hear some background noise. I have some fans going. Sound like you're talking through a wall to your mic. Sounds about right. I'm a professional, I swear. Any better? Getting any better?
Yeah, because it's coming through Discord perfectly fine, so it's got to be the OBS portion of the mic.
There's going to be a little background noise, so I apologize. Just turn the level up. That's fine. Can you hear me a little better? A little bit, but still very quiet. Okay, let me monkey with it just a little bit more. How about now? Perfect. Okay.
So you got to turn it up to 11. This one goes to
this
11.
this one goes up to 11. So yes, tonight you get to enjoy the two most beautiful members of the Hobo Slayers. I am Silent Kartoffel, and this is
I am not. So,
you.
how is everybody this fine insert day of week here?
I think it's supposed to be Saturday.
I hope so.
I have been up way too long, trying to fix things, visit family, all sorts of always good in the hood. That's good to
Good
hear.
in the hood.
Yes, and trying to get back on a decent schedule. Like I've had a rough time with that lately. How about you?
Well, given that I've just streamed for the first time in a month recently, yeah, my schedule's all sorts of messed up right now.
We're the slackers of the team.
Indeed.
I'm like, yeah, I have a set schedule. I stream 4 days a week. I get on at this time, consecutively late, and almost never stream for a full week like I'm supposed to.
Mm.
So I know how you feel because I set myself up to stream in the AM like an idiot, being the night owl that I am.
Wasn't gonna say it. Was just gonna think it really loudly.
Uh, so like this is the first time I've done anything like this. I watched the one last week and it went well. I think this is a really good idea that we have a podcast. It gives us a chance to not put on our radio voices per se, and just be normalish, whatever that means, and just talk to people.
All right, well, people, give us things to talk about. Otherwise, he's gonna fill the airwaves with Transformers.
The thing is, I have them at the ready on my desk. Like I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little bit of a, excuse me, I put my drink in the floor. I'm a little bit of a
I
nerd.
found something fun. Go ahead and
Yes,
uh,
I'm curious.
yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Mine derailed many years ago, so it's okay. FF7 Remake is going to have a classic mode. Now, is
But
that.
like turn-based ATB?
Mini will have turn based battling? Oh, nice, yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind the newer Final Fantasy 12 plus style, but I obviously prefer the style that I grew up with.
What would be
Turn-based.
really what would be really amazing if it went all Dragon Quest 11 on us.
I've never played Dragon Quest 11,
Oh,
not as of yet.
the one that's out or coming out for Switch that you can turn it into 16-bit.
Huh, that's pretty cool. The action RPG is okay, but I love the turn-based. Yeah, have to agree, especially since I just started playing Final Fantasy VIII Remastered again the other day, and it's got the turn-based stuff, so it makes the longing much. So if it's going to be mastered graphics plus that, I'm totally down.
Oh yeah. When
Other than it's going to be like what, 4 parts, $60 each over the next how many years?
yeah, I don't necessarily enjoy the whole episodic release thing and making us pay for each episode.
I'll still pay for it, and they know everybody else will too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going to, but I don't have to like it.
Not into that part, yeah. Yeah, they know us all too well. So, slave to Square Enix, yeah, I have to agree. Even their mediocre ports are definitely worth it. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is actually a step backwards in a couple of places, but I still love it. I could not get it. So,
yeah. That's me. When things pick up for me, I'm definitely gonna overflow a Switch SD card with.
give me them juicy games, yeah.
Yeah. With so many Final Fantasy re-releases.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money, as it were.
I don't mind 8, but yeah, they actually, in a lot of cases, like with 8, and I want to say one other, they lost the source code and asset files. So it's literally just an upscaling of a emulator of the PS. It's not the PS1 version either.
So
I want to say
like?
it's the PC version from 2000, something like that. So yeah, kind of obnoxious, and in a couple of areas they lost frame rate because of it. It's 20 years later, but it's actually slower in some areas. But it's fun.
7 they improved upon. They gave you like a speed through mode and like a quest markers and stuff like that.
Yeah, how do you lose stuff like that? I mean, a professional company 20 years ago, you think that they would have had some sort of a backup system. But yeah, I mean, it has the speed up faster. It's got the avoid all battles, and it's got the max out your hit points magic and whatever they called limit breaks in that one. But yeah, apparently it's just a emulator that's been slightly buffed up, and it's only character models, not the world is still whatever crappy PlayStation 1 graphics they originally had.
Wow.
So, yeah. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'd play it again on the PlayStation 1, so I'll play a slightly better version on the Switch. I'm not going to argue that, but
yeah, I mean, I'll take a few drop frames to be able to play it in my hands and take it with me.
Yep, agreed. I spent like, I don't know, 3 hours last night just lying in bed playing it, doing nothing but drawing on enemies to gain magic because I plan on just overpower buffing it this time through.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and I did just beat Fire Emblem 3 Houses the other day. So anyone that has not played that, do it now. I mean it.
Well, I guess that includes me.
Yeah, it's on the list. Yes, indeed. I've only beaten one of the 4 endings, but.
You know what else is on the list that I'm not going to be able to pick up when it comes out? I'll have to wait on it.
Everything.
Yeah. Definitely going to have to grab it, though, is Link's Awakening.
Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get it, but I don't think that's going to be a release date, because that's a $60 one, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's the same with me. It looks amazing. A lot of people complained about the art style, but they complained about Wind Waker, and Wind Waker is one of the best games in the series.
Agreed. So, I mean, it's one of the better original Zeldas to begin with. So I'm not going to knock it if it's somewhat new. You just
Right.
play the OG now.
I,
Um,
that is a Game Boy game I do not currently own.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I have a copy of it for my 3DS
Wait,
because I was part of the
yes.
ambassador program.
No, that's a Game Boy Advance game. You're thinking of Minish Cap.
Don't
Ambassador,
make me. Oh,
yeah,
I
Ambassador came with
packed
GBA
my.
games.
Okay, well, I still have a copy of Link's Awakening that I got through the ambassador because that's the only place I've ever gotten it.
No, it's eShop. You can purchase it. They didn't give that one
Oh,
away. But
oh,
yeah,
okay.
I have
Well,
that on my 3DS. I forgot about that.
I never knew that I'd paid for that one. So
Yeah, but
learn something new about myself every day.
they gave us 1 and 2 and 4 Swords for free, and
Hmm.
Minish Cap. But they didn't give us any Game Boy games. They gave us
Yeah,
NES and GBA, and that's the only
it's
way to
not
get
on.
GBA on.
Yeah, it's not on Switch Online yet because that's only NES and SNES right now.
Right. And I fear they're gonna try to Netflix that stuff too.
Lunk Snap Time is what I want to play. I would definitely play a game called Lunk Snap Time.
Exactly. Long snap
Link,
time.
Lank. What were the four that we gave? Link, Lank, Lunk, and Bob. I don't remember actually.
We'll call him Trevor.
Yeah, I've never actually played Four Swords. I've never played Minish Cap. I played Spirit Tracks, which I really did not enjoy all that much. What was the other 3DS one?
Phantom
Um,
Hourglass, and it's DS.
Phantom Hourglass. Didn't okay. Yeah, I was thinking of Link Between Worlds, which is
Yeah,
actually
Link
pretty
Between
good.
Worlds is 3DS, and of course
Yeah, never
remade
beat that one though.
they remade Potato Flute of Watches and Halloween Mask of Doom as well.
Triforce Tryhard says I might like Zelda games a bit. Yeah, gonna have to go out on a limb and say that that sounds about right for you.
Yeah,
Now, despite the fact that I love the Zeldas, actually only played about four of them. The ones that I play, I love. I'll go out on a limb and say that Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, Legend of, what is it? Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Revenge. What the hell is the name of it?
Adventures of Link.
Adventures of Link. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
am
actually
Error.
like that one quite a bit.
I'm Error. It's different. It's
Yeah.
challenging. It's very challenging.
I need to finish Breath of the Wild. Have a bad habit of starting stuff and never finishing it. I have absolutely no idea what you mean, Horizon Zero Dawn.
I am really bad at 3D ones. I think I've owned every single one except,
You should feel attacked.
and I've never beaten them.
I've actually only played about an hour of Ocarina of Time. Oh, and never played Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask has to be my favorite 3D one, other than Wind Waker.
In a lot of places, I would have to turn over my gamer card right now. But I still think that Link to the Past is the best Zelda that's ever come out. So,
Well, I mean, most people do.
oh, okay. Well, ready for crowd control, Ocarina of Time. See, that would be. I mean, to be fair,
That's
adding crowd control to just about any game would be good, but Ocarina of Time would be
It's got to be hilarious.
specifically good,
Got to be a lot
especially
more.
with like Water Temple.
Yeah, got to be a lot more forgiving than Dark Souls.
Hmm, probably so.
Mario
There.
64.
I wonder if they could ever do like a randomizer for that as well. I mean, they managed it for Link to the Past.
I
So.
think randomizers already exist for Ocarina.
Ah, well, shows how much I know. Oh, okay. Well, good to know. I know that the N64 was one of the harder ones to do emulation on, so I figured that that would make it difficult to do such things, but intriguing.
Yeah, no, it's one of those that's had one, but see, PCs can handle it. It's just
True.
everything else has a hard time emulating it. I don't know why. I mean, it's 20-year-old technology at this point.
Yeah.
It's I guess there are just some things that are
Because Nintendo. Yeah.
there you go, because Nintendo.
I mean, you think by now they'd have re-released the re-releases on the Switch, because the Wii U release of Wind Waker HD wasn't that long before the Switch came out, right?
Well, it was pretty early in the Wii U's life cycle. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it was like the
Yeah, I wish they would.
the second release of the Wii U.
Oh,
Like they
okay.
had the
Well,
white and black models, and then just like a few months later, they had Wind Waker version.
hmm. have that Wii U. Ah, nice. It just seems like a no-brainer that that'd be one that they'd want to put on the Switch because everybody that's already bought it would probably buy it again. So,
Yeah,
just not the game. Just the console.
it's the
I mean,
console that
can't
matters.
argue with it. Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do to make it perfect is just go on that eShop and get the game because it was just a digital download anyway.
Hmm.
I mean,
I mean, it's Nintendo. There's a lot of their decisions that just really
don't
don't
make
make sense.
sense.
So, yeah.
That's true.
Someday, someday we'll get everything working perfectly.
Oh, Nintendo.
They'll have
They're
an online system that isn't sideways. They hate online too. Yep, exactly. I
yeah,
have no idea why
yeah.
they just can't hire one person that knows how
No.
the internet works from the last 20 years.
You would think during their partnership with Xbox they would just hop over and say, "Hey guys, you have a working online system. Can you share? Can
Yeah.
you help us?" But the last time they tried to play nice with one of their competitors, they actually gained a competitor out of it. That being Sony.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, because
Very true.
there was almost a Nintendo PlayStation,
Yeah, sad but true.
and then they went with Philips.
Heh,
We see how
I
that
won.
went. I won.
All things considered, though, I mean, I still love the Switch as the best modern console.
Yeah, agreed. It's probably my favorite console aside from maybe like the Game Boy Advance, and even still, if they put Game Boy Advance games on it, it'll be perfect.
Probably by the end of its life cycle, whenever the next inevitable console comes out, they'll finally get to what we all want.
Yeah, and then you won't be able to put it on the next one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what else they're still supporting 3DS games inexplicably. I know that
They're
3DS still slightly stells, but come on, just
they're not.
focus.
They're not. Nintendo
Well,
themselves aren't, but
no more
third
first
party.
party on it.
Yeah,
That's
third
true.
party.
No, they're still selling the hardware though.
Well, yeah. I mean, they sell they'll sell what's they've got made.
Put GameCube games on the Switch would be the ultimate. Agree.
Right? Oh my goodness, they've been teasing Mario Sunshine. They uh they need to put like Metroid Prime,
Hmm.
Thousand Year Door. Oh my goodness, I would pay $60 for a remake of Thousand Year Door.
GC Pokemon games on it, like oh
Colosseum,
wow. That's thank you. I was trying to think of
not Coliseum, because that's
Arena.
not how you spell Coliseum.
Nah, good point.
Colosseum.
That would be a pretty good one. I mean, if Nintendo really, really wanted, they could just port the Wii U shop directly across,
Yeah.
but they won't.
No, no. I don't.
XD Gale of Darkness.
Yeah, that's the second one with the Black Lugia.
Never played that one.
She always gets mad at me at the way I pronounce Pokemon names.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, by the end of the life cycle, we'll get all the things that we want just in time to start bitching about it for the next console.
See what I tell you.
Lugia.
I think she means it's Lugia, but I always say
Oh,
Lugia.
could be Lugia.
Lugie, huh?
Oh, ouch.
Lord. So, anybody got any questions for us out in the audience? Love to know what our wonderful chat has to say. Or do you just like staring at our beautiful faces?
Don't stare.
Don't look directly into it.
It's like the Ark of the Covenant when you stare at me.
The skin just starts melting.
Say
off my
some more
face.
wrong Pokemon names.
Conkeldurr.
I don't even know what that one's supposed to be.
That's the one that, you know how they have the one that holds like the wooden, like the log, and you have the one that holds the steel beam, and then you have the one that holds the giant pillars.
Mm-hmm.
They were from, I think, Black and White.
Hmm.
It's like timber, girder, and I think they pronounce it like Conkeldurr, and I'm like, Conkeldurr.
Ah, yeah. Timber just looks like a really deformed Smurf to me, so
Yeah,
I don't
with
know.
a pompadour built into its skull.
Hmm.
Corsola.
A turd on its head. Well, okay, well, I wasn't going to go there, but there you go. That is very true.
It's like I was watching this thing on. There was a Donkey Kong Country based TV show. It was CGI. It was made at about the same time as Reboot, so it was that CGI.
Ah.
First time they ever did mocap, especially for TV, and there was singing. Donkey Kong sung.
Huh. I think it's sang.
Yeah. Words came out in the musical form.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm Southern. Get off me. I can't speak good. I don't do that talk stuff. But anyway, the point I was getting at is there was like a Samson parody, like where they were gonna try to take away Donkey Kong's powers by cutting his hair. You know how
by shaving him.
you know how he has that curl on top of his head.
Right, he's got kind of like a Superman spit curl thing going on, but up instead of forward.
According to this, that wasn't hair. That was just the shape of his head. And they shaved the hair.
Oh, they shaved it. And they were still there.
Yeah, there's just a fleshy curl on top of his head.
That's disturbing on every level.
Very much so. Very much so.
Now I'm gonna have to go back through and see what all sorts of Nintendo themed shows I don't know about. I mean, I've seen Super Mario Super Show, and everybody knows, of course, about the Legend of Zelda that went along with it, and of course, Captain N.
Oh, Captain N. I would love to see Captain N made into like a game now.
Yeah.
Be like Kingdom Hearts, but Nintendo.
It could be okay. It probably would not be okay.
No. I don't even think they have the rights to that anymore.
Probably not.
But
yeah, are there any other shows that? Well, okay. I guess there was a Kirby animated, right?
Yes, Right Back at You is what it was called, and it aired
Gross.
early 2000s.
Agreed.
And Mario actually had a spin-off. You had Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and then you had Mario 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it had Yoshi and like the cape and stuff like that, and it also had lots of singing.
Yep. Did it have Lou Albano?
I don't know. It didn't have the live action segments. So
okay, so probably
and he didn't provide the cartoon voice, did he?
No, he did not. Which one was the one with the weird Luigi? I'm guessing probably Super Mario Super Show.
I mean, yeah. Like, oh man. Oof. Or are you talking about
oh, the creepy meme one.
Yeah, Ouija. That one's one of the like educational games. Like the PC version of Mario in Time or whatever. But like there's one where he time travels. And Luigi's in it. Yeah, there's like a Super Nintendo era set of games like Mario is Missing.
Yeah.
And like some sort of time traveling one where it's supposed to be like educational, and you go and talk you go and do like different time periods, like colonial time period and stuff like that, and you do like a weird what are those little text things, the little fill in the blank
DOS game. Wow.
It's not quite a DOS game, but the Mad Lib. I can speak. And you do like little Mad Libs with the colonial people and answer questions. And Luigi is very strangely drawn in the PC version.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that you've actually just been out Googled. So.
Yeah.
Partners in Time was also a pretty good game, I recall.
Not that one.
No, but it had, tiny.
I love the Mario and Luigi series. It's the best. Like that and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door are the best things we can get once they ended their partnership with Squeenix.
Bowser's Inside Story was also pretty good.
Oh yeah, Mario and Luigi games. They're awesome. They're hilarious. The only thing that's kind of weird about them is you control each brother with one button. At least in the first ones.
Huh.
Like, so you're running through the thing and you got to do just light platforming, jump on like a block or something. So you push A to make Mario jump, and then B to make Luigi jump. And it was really weird.
All right, now I'm actually Googling for Mario TV shows. A list of non-video... Wow, okay. Saturday Supercade. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which is the one everybody remembers from Deke. King Koopa's Cool Cartoons. The Adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3, which is the one that you were talking about,
Yeah.
and I remember that one. Super Mario Challenge, and there was a Super Mario World animated TV show, which apparently got rolled into Captain N eventually. Oh, and Mario Ice Capades. How could we forget that one?
Those were
Well, happy
shows.
Flat Earth New Year. See you all on the 51st of September 20. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Area 51. Yeah, I forgot about that. We're going to have to go get
go
that taken care of
storm
here.
the castle, as it were.
And apparently there is an upcoming animated movie.
Yeah. Who was it by? Oh, it's Illumination. Illumination is bad.
Mm. Yep, I see. Yep, there it is. Maybe someday a remake of the 1993 film, which I actually like. I mean,
hey, you know,
Minions
there's like
of Mario. Oh God, no.
There's like a webcomic sequel out
To the
there.
movie?
Yeah. Like it picks up right where Daisy bursts through the door with the big guns.
Yeah.
The production on that movie was a nightmare.
Yeah, but it's a great movie. It's just not a Mario movie. I mean,
No, and it's great in the same way Rocky Horror Picture Show is great.
no, Rocky Horror Picture Show is great because it's great, not in spite of everything.
Okay, maybe The Room. I'll give you that, but I'll say
Okay.
The Room great.
Yeah, The Room is only good because of the
Just how bad it
mockingness
is.
of it. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then-
Rocky Horror is legit great on its own. You can't ever say that about anything that's got that sort of a cast.
It's something.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how we got onto Rocky Horror all of a sudden, though.
Because we compared it to the Mario movie.
That's a good point, yeah.
Sonic also had some cartoons. Two that ran simultaneously. You had like SpongeBob Sonic, and then you had Saturday morning post-apocalypse Sonic. And it was really weird. And they were both voiced by Jaleel White.
Yeah, which was actually funny because the other day there was the trivia game that runs in Amy's stream popped up and asked which cartoon character was voiced by Family Matters Jaleel White. I got that one.
And it's like, apparently there was a thing to get him in the game I've been playing lately, Sonic Generations. But they just instead went with Silent Sonic.
Oh, of course.
Somebody is hot rodding out there.
Little racer action going on outside.
Yeah. Burning that rice. But I'm trying to think if there are other Nintendo cartoons. You've got it pulled up. I'm just sitting back and chatting, but welcome to BFE, yeah.
Hello, Camiller, and welcome to BFE, Alabama. Yeah, I kind of live in a similar location of. So, all right, let me look that up. Nintendo cartoon shows.
Yeah, the Captain N had just about everybody at the time, including non-Nintendo properties.
Yeah, that was actually impressive that they managed to do.
That's one reason I said they couldn't do something like that today.
I don't know. I mean, once upon a time, you managed to get companies like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Warner Brothers, and Disney side by side.
But those were different times.
That's true. Okay, so, yeah, you were right. Kirby, right back at you. Not that I didn't expect Donkey Kong Country, the TV show. What?
It's really
in the
strange.
ever-loving hell?
It's different. It's like mocap uncanny valley, like so weird.
There were two different Mega Man TV series.
Yeah, the first one was really strange. It was like Legend of Zelda level. Uh,
Mm, I can see that by the screenshots here.
yeah.
And then there was Mega Man NT Warrior, which was
Oh
ran for four
man.
years on WB. Oh my good
Yeah,
golly.
you know the Game Boy Advance
Donkey Kong
RPGs,
show of Suffer Horse. Yes.
the Battle Network.
Mm-hmm.
That's that style, and
Huh, huh.
yeah, it ran forever. And there was like, it was one of those like it was so big it had like card games and stuff.
Hmm.
The Donkey Kong
Kong
show.
Planet.
The Donkey Kong show is the stuff of horrors. It absolutely is.
Yeah, they had a Donkey Kong Planet show that ran simultaneously with Donkey Kong Country.
Is it made by the same people?
A children's show featuring part of the Donkey Kong Country cast, Donkey Kong Planet, consisted of airing children's series interspersed with comedic skits. Oh my gosh, they had
Oh,
live action segments.
it was
It
just
was
a-
exclusive to France.
It was a variety show.
Apparently so. Oh boy.
You actually have some cards somewhere. Oh, the Mega Man NT Warrior stuff.
And that actually reminds me of the absolute best live action Nintendo movie ever, The Wizard.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
That was a great hour and a half long commercial for Mario 3.
Yeah, I mean, hour and a half long commercial movies aren't all that bad necessarily. The Lego movie was pretty good for a commercial.
Oh yeah, Lego Movie is fantastic.
An upcoming animated film in partnership with Illumination, co-produced by Miyamoto. It was announced during the financial briefing last year. No details have yet been released. Pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
How bad can it be? Very bad. Yes, I did reference the Lorax. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see here.
There is a newer Mega Man show that just came out on Cartoon Network.
Huh.
And Sonic Boom, like that, you know that terrible Wii U game that actually came from a cartoon.
Oh, really?
A new follower alert just for us. Oh. I'm curious. We need somebody to follow.
Wow. Okay. Somehow I completely spaced off that there was a anthropomorphic Game Boy in Captain N, voiced by Frank Welker, of course, because everything is voiced by Frank Welker.
I just want it to be in the voice of Megatron
Mm.
or Soundwave.
Mother Brain. Now, Mother Brain was a great part of that.
Oh,
cartoon.
Mother Brain.
Absolute wonderful.
That was just like a female version of Giant Plant movie.
Giant plant movie,
Giant
like
Plant
Little
musical.
Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. Thank you. I can remember words.
Things are. Oh my God! Saban did the music.
I'm not surprised. They did. They
I
actually.
am.
He actually did a lot of music before he did Power Rangers, and he's got a few shows before Power Rangers.
Giant Plant the movie. I would go see that. That is the blockbuster of 2020 right there. Giant Plant : the movie. Now that just makes me think of Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie for theaters or whatever it was called.
Hey, I know about that movie. I've seen that movie a few times. I think I
Nicely
have
done.
it
Where you
somewhere.
had to say the entire thing.
Right? How to do that? Okay, I gotta stop that, or I'll do it the whole time.
That's true. No, I had no idea that there was another of the Mega Man shows. Huh.
Yeah, it's just like last year started up. I'm trying to think if any other Nintendo properties have tried to break out of just video games. You have a list right in front of you. I'm just trying to go off memory.
Somewhat. There's a surprising lack of consensus.
Yeah. Also, Mega Man's technically Capcom, so
Ah, good point.
Sonic's not Nintendo either. Sonic's
Yeah,
Sega.
I mean,
Sonic's a rival.
they list Pokemon on this because
Pokemon.
they've got that incestuous relationship with Nintendo, so that does make sense.
Yeah, but do we count anime?
I don't know if there's a. Oh man, I wonder if there's a Super Mario Brothers anime. Ah, I thought you were talking video games in general.
Oh, it's
We're
okay.
just,
We
at
we
this
kind of
point
were.
we started
kinda
with it,
were.
but yeah, we kind of branched
Yeah.
out a little. Oh, I'm cramping up something fierce here.
But yeah, we branched off as time permitted. But we started out with Nintendo, and then as things do, we just sidetracked.
Naturally.
Yes. There were Mario animes that didn't get technical. Like, I don't think they technically got dubbed over here, but there are fan dubs, and they are atrocious.
Yeah, that makes sense. Super Mario World was the final cartoon in the Super Mario Brothers cartoon series produced by DiC, having succeeded The Adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3. Huh. It first debuted as part of Captain N.
Okay.
Yoshi is able to speak. Hard pass. I'm just gonna jump right out of this one. I would watch a Mario anime. I would too. Let's be honest here.
If Yoshi can do much more than than say his name, and the constipated jump move sound, I don't know how I feel about that. Except I'll give Yoshi's story a pass, because that ear piercing song that they do in the opening and the ending. I don't know if you've ever played Yoshi 64, is essentially what it is. But I'd watch a Mario anime. It might be better than what we'd make. Sonic also had an anime about the same time as the Kirby show.
No way.
Yeah, and its English is hilarious. It's like a Joseph Joestar level of terrible English. Like, oh my god! Like that kind of stuff.
Nice. Terrace Strong played Lemmy in Iggy Koopa. And I recognize absolutely no other voice actor on here.
Wow, that was back in the day.
What's a Mario anime OVA? Really?
Yes, that's what I was talking about, and it
That's
has
the one? Okay.
It has a fan dub, and it is awful. Awful. Howdy, I'm a fan of Amy's and Twitch talk shows. Best of both worlds? Hopefully so.
Well, hello, Max Sense, and welcome.
Nice to have you here.
We hope best of both worlds, though.
Yeah.
Acceptable of both worlds, most okayest of both worlds. How about that?
Most okayest. Diet okay.
Diet okay.
What was it?
Huh.
Embrace
So
the
many-
mediocre.
Embrace the mediocre. All right, now let's look at Kirby right back at. Oh, there is no information on this. They had a Max Headroom character. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, it honestly looks straight up like him, except, no, it looks a lot like him. Video game shows, it seems.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. It seems as though that's our topic of today is TV shows about video games.
Hey, we'll branch into anything else if
well-
someone else has anything cool. But right now, this is cool.
Yeah. Kirby's theme song will haunt you. It's one of those that
I haven't heard it.
it just doesn't belong attached to the media, because once you hear it once, you can't get it out of your head, and it's terrible. Obviously, something that was designed for children. And I don't.
Wow.
I gotta stop thinking about it. It's haunting me now.
Legend of Zelda literally only ran for 13 episodes.
Yeah, and they were all attached to the Super Show, I think.
Yeah, as I recall. Because if you actually, this has been cool to listen to. Well, I hope so. If you watch at least on Netflix the first season of Super Mario Brothers Super Show, they still actually include the cartoon stinger at the end of each episode for The Legend of Zelda,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. It's like, yeah, but they don't have the rights to show it, so it's like, watch this cartoon, but you can't. You can't. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, it's 13 episodes of Pig Ganon, trying to sneak something in. But the main plot, that's the B plot. The main plot is always Link trying to get into Zelda's pants.
Well, yeah. And Pig Ganon's not nearly as cool as Shadow Pig.
No, nothing compared to Shadow Pig.
Shadow Pig is the best.
But it was seriously like, it's like, well, I guess I saved the day. How about a kiss, princess? no. Well, excuse me. That's the whole episode right there.
Basically so.
And he had magic pockets that he pulled all his weapons out of.
What the hell did they do to Mega Man on this? I'm looking at the Captain. I'm looking at the Captain Ed. And that's not what Mega Man looks like.
He's like green and essentially Toad, and I think he sounds like Toad.
Yeah. I mean, he looks closer to like, I don't know, Marvin the Martian than anything else here.
But he seriously had a voice like this.
No, that's actually a pretty decent Toad. That's amazing. Shadow Pig.
Yes.
What is the best video game of all time? Well, by what criteria are you judging that? Because I would actually go so far as to say The Last of Us is my favorite video game, but best video game?
Yeah, yeah, based on what? I feel like you can't have just one.
Well, yeah, I mean, oh boy, best, I actually might go far as to say Link to the Past. Everyone has their favorite, right? Yeah, I mean, everyone does. But like my favorite is, like I said, it's going to be The Last of Us. But best would be by like the criteria of best writing, best everything comes together. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, I don't know if I could pick just one. If you gave me genres, I could do that, but
super fond of Fallout stuff. Yeah, I mean, like if I were favorite band versus what is the best band, they would actually be two separate answers because best has a different connotation than just what I like.
Yeah.
Last of Us, one of the best. Yeah, I definitely think it's probably the one that gets me the most in all forms: writing, gameplay, story, action, suspense. Xenoblade Chronicles, which is coming to the Switch. That is very true.
I don't know if I'm really feeling that one. Let's see what I did there. But, yeah. At least not the English voice cast. Oh my goodness, it's so terrible.
I would have to say probably the best game would be E.T. for the Atari 2600. Hands down, it's the only game that I could never play all the way through more than once.
Why after you played it, did you go contribute to the landfill?
I honestly think I chucked it out the window into traffic. I don't actually recall. Breath of the Wild is also a great. True.
I'm a weirdo. I don't like 3D Zeldas as much as 2D Zeldas.
Breath of the Wild, I mean, it's not revolutionary, despite the fact that it's an open world. I wouldn't actually call that revolutionary, even for a Zelda game. I would just say that it's really well done. So,
I'm not sure that I like Everything Is Made of Glass, the game, though.
Yeah, if they would fix the way that durability works, it would probably be a lot better. I know it's a core concept of the game, but it is not something that I found enjoyable. Just because it works doesn't mean that it's fun.
And always being anxious because you know something is about to break does not build challenge as much as it just builds like anger and annoyance.
I mean, like most every RPG, there's going to be, I don't drink the potions because what if I might need them for a boss fight? That's completely different than I'm not going to use the sword because if it breaks, I'm going to get a pointed stick from a pig as a replacement.
Right? It's like
I make the choice. The game makes a choice for me. I don't like.
Yeah, the Master Sword. The Master Sword. A sword that's not even just man-made. It's a deity that reminds you every 10 seconds that it's 90% sure that something is out in the field. How can it break so easily?
Yeah, I gather they did fix that in one of the DLCs. It works differently now.
Thank you for that follow.
I think they actually just doubled the, look at that! We got our own special little one. I think they actually just doubled the durability from 30 to 60, which is still pretty mediocre. That's the one thing I don't like about it. Not that I mind things have durability, because I prefer the mechanics of Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Exactly. But it breaks way too easy and way too often.
I think the durability...
Yeah, if there was a way to mend it, that would have been better.
Yeah, not just, you have to replace it. Best console ever? Switch, yeah.
Nintendo Switch. Followed closely by the Super Nintendo, and then after that, I'd probably say a ColecoVision. A bundle of sticks wired together that I played with in the forest.
ColecoVision.
Hey, ColecoVisions were rad. I'm old enough that was like revolutionary.
Okay. It still wasn't, by today's standard, it's like a watch, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I mean, yeah, by today's standards, everything sucks, but
Eh.
high fives across the nets. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
I just,
Durability was fine, but if you had a way to mend it, it'd be a lot better. Yeah.
yeah, I just haven't, seen or heard about one of those. Like, the last reference of a ColecoVision I can actually remember is freaking Family Guy, and that was like,
I,
that was back before it rebooted the first time.
nah, I want to say that I think Rofinex got a couple of Atari 2600s, and I thought he might even have a ColecoVision, but I saw one not too long ago at a garage sale, with the gigantic console and the pull-off looks like handset. I mean,
Yeah,
it was just an amazing.
yeah.
Before Nintendo, Coleco had some good graphics. I mean,
Is
that's what I grew up
Coleco
with.
is Coleco the one where you had like a calculator as a controller?
Yeah, let me pull up a screenshot.
It just had like way too many, and it had like these
Yeah,
the
yeah,
slides you
yeah,
put in over the buttons.
yeah. When I said that it kind of looked like a cell phone, yeah, it's got the curly cable, and then it's got the dial pad that's basically the size of Granny's old telephone because she's got the glaucoma there. It's
Right,
like
right.
yay big, and the buttons are an inch a
And you
piece.
actually put little stencils basically
Yeah.
over the buttons.
As someone who does not currently have a Switch, what makes it great? Absolutely everything. Besides the fact that it's got a decent amount of power and utilizes the power in such a small shell, it has good quality games, the portability in the console mode. It's like a two-in-one system.
Well, that I can sum it up pretty easy. The fact that you can be taking a dump and playing games like Witcher 3 and Doom Eternal while
At the
doing
same
so.
no,
Yeah. While you can be taking a Doom and playing it at the same time.
the form factor is really a selling point for it. The screens are really good size. The Joy-Cons might not be the most comfortable thing ever, and even if you ignore all of the bells and whistles about motion controls and tilt and blah blah blah, it's just got really good first party games for it.
Oh man, Mario
And
Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. I mean, even games like Mario plus Rabbids is really good.
yeah,
I wanted to play. I wanting to play games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which I've heard is really
mhm,
good, and it's such a great system. Like
yeah, it's just the fact that the form factor means that it's playable in bed, on the couch, on the toilet, or so.
on the
That's where we're going
bus,
with this one. Yeah,
in the
it
car.
just it's a revolutionary level of handhold console. It's never been there before. I mean, the 3DS, the DS, the 2DS, the all the DSs, DSIs,
Yeah,
DSXIs are wonderful, but this really takes it to a level where it's basically a modern generation console rather than making concessions about graphic quality or size of games. So,
exactly. Like the Witcher 3, it's a this generation game. It's
yeah.
completely on the cartridge. You don't have to download anything. And apparently, from everything that's been shown and all the reviews that are out, it runs like butter.
Yeah,
Like the
which is
only
amazing.
the only real issue that everybody has said is like, oh, it plays at 30 frames per second. Oh, the graphics are a little downgraded. It's a handheld console that can play The Witcher 3, and it's not
Yeah,
streaming it; it's playing it natively.
yeah. Switch blows it out of the water. Yeah. Yeah, Switch. Nintendo is actually finally improving some indie stuff, which means that some of it's kind of problematic. The e-store is just crammed full of shit, but
That's
it's
true.
also got a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah, and you sometimes you pay a little bit of a what's called the Switch tax.
Switch tax.
Like some of the indie games are a little more expensive on the Switch, but you have to consider you're not just glued to your PC. You're not just glued to your console. You can take them with you.
Yeah, and I mean, Nintendo's putting in their effort. They're really actually. I mean, they do pretty much all the time. But like I said, I just finished Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I haven't played all the Fire Emblems. I've only played like, I hate to say it, only like 4 or 5, which is still quite a few games. But the series is like what 12, 15 games total,
Yeah, and
and it's the best Fire Emblem out of all of them by leaps and bounds. So
right. I haven't touched it yet, but I've heard, and it's selling so well. Like it's doing really well.
Yeah, we just kind of go with the flow for the podcast. This week it's
Yeah,
Kartoffel and I talking about rando stuff.
basically it's up to the specific people on the podcast, but we just go around the stream team, and whoever signs up, they sort of organize what they're doing. But as a whole, we just kind of just we didn't have a game plan. We knew that we were supposed to get on here at 6 o'clock, and that's what we did. Well, your time 4, but that's about as much planning as went into it.
And now with the Switch Lite coming out shortly, and I'm still banking that the leak about a Switch Pro is going to be legit as well.
I mean, the Switch
So,
Lite was so.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the original leak talked about both of them, and the Lite came true, so.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited for that because, uh, on one hand I am, but on all other circumstances, I'm not a very big guy. Like just because I am a hefty guy does not make me a very large person, and my hands reflect that. And
Teeny hands.
I have these tiny hands, like Burger King. I have these tiny hands, but I'm looking forward to that because like the Vita was very comfortable for me, so I assume that Switch Lite's going to be very comfortable for me. And the Joy Cons,
Or not.
I hate the Joy Cons.
Yeah, that's the biggest attraction about the entire Switch is that the controller that comes with basically is unplayable. Even if you move them to the little slotted plastic controller holder, they're bad. They're just no good. But the third-party controllers in the Switch Pro controller are heavenly.
Yeah, oh yeah, and tactile buttons. If you don't know what a tactile button is, that means that it is a button when you push it in, it clicks. Those do not have a place on the front of the controller unless it is for start and select. They can be L and R. L and R is a tactile, that's fine. But the front buttons should not be clicky. Especially that clicky. There is delay click. Like that's how stiff the Joy-Con buttons are. And I've heard that they've taken.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was gonna say, like, I've heard that the Switch Lite has taken out the tactile.
Yes.
Okay, now, so outside of the podcast, what do each of you do on your own channels? Mostly, if you don't, you want to go first? I sort of have just owned the conversation this whole time, so feel free.
I don't do anything on my channel. I haven't streamed in a month except for that once, so.
Okay, when you do stream.
I'm still trying to find my niche, so.
Typically, what do you play right now, though?
Right now, the last thing that I played, and we'll be playing again later this evening, is Magic the Gathering Arena. Don't let them lie to you. What? I just had to touch my Joy-Cons to feel the clicky, and it would be nice to have more normal. He likes Bethesda stuff. Yeah, I generally, I like to play Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. I'm trying right now to do a little bit more competitive games on Twitch to see if that has a little bit of a draw. So, Magic the Gathering Online, Hearthstone or something.
I have alternate personalities on Twitch. One personality, half the time, I'll be streaming art stuff. I'll be I have a webcomic that I'm trying to rejuvenate and basically reboot, and I'm trying to make art assets for that. And I do a lot of 2D and 3D stuff. Sometimes animating. Sometimes failing at Unity, stuff like that. And on the other side, the other personality is I play a lot of retro, indie, strange games. Like right now I'm trying to run through the Sonic series, and I played Monster Sanctuary on Thursday, which is very much like a Castlevania Metroid style game with Pokemon elements. And it's a lot of fun. I started out playing strictly Game Boy Advance.
True.
And I like Bethesda stuff too, I just don't like to stream it.
Ah, yes.
My computer is not as top notch as everybody else's, so I'm going to use capture cards.
Your computer, most okayest.
Most okayest, yes. It's running like 3 generation old hardware or more.
Eh. The time also is kind of up to the hosts of the show. It just kind of seems to fall into a natural slot for that because a lot of people are more central time zone-ish that
Yeah,
kind of hang around the Hobo Slayers.
yeah, Central or Eastern. There are a few Eastern too, and you seem to be the odd man out in the
I'm all West Coast.
yeah, West Coast.
Currently, yeah, it's always scheduled for Saturdays. People want another day, they have that option. Yeah. It's just easier for people to get together on Saturday so far, it seems like. But it's only the second podcast, so we'll see where things go from here on out.
Right. This
I
is
know they're scheduled out for the next 2 weeks, at least on Saturdays.
yeah, this is a very fledgling, very brand new, like very green deal. We're just getting started, and we by no means have a production bible for it. We are just playing everything by ear right now.
Yeah.
We hit that moment in the conversation where things go
I
quiet.
think it's fun that way. I have to agree. Not a ton of pressure. No, we don't want to be under pressure.
Pressing down on me.
Okay, I figured you'd actually sing it, but yeah.
Pressure. Okay, no. I know I'm like that. I know I do that kind of thing, but I'm trying to.
Is the show a set length of time? Once people get bored of being on camera, they wind up leaving. Last week was about 2 hours. It'll
Yeah.
probably be in the same vicinity-ish tonight. We've been on for 1 hour 15-ish
Yeah,
due to technical difficulties.
that's true.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, last time it kept going through some like extreme disconnects. Like it just kept on trucking, even
Yeah,
though
Discord really was not
Yeah.
loving last
Yeah.
week.
like Discord was trying its hardest to kill it but couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't blaming you. Like I said, Discord was trying to be the bad guy,
Very bad guy.
and it was still great too.
Yeah, it was fun.
I got to tell you, I laughed so hard watching that. It was fantastic. We
It
have
slaps.
it definitely slaps. Yes, we have so many entertaining, so many talented people on the team. And we also have me. And,
Looking forward to seeing some more. I was going to say, plenty of entertaining people. Also us.
thank you for helping me with that. These have been great. Looking forward to seeing more. Me too. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are on the team now? That I don't even know. Like, seems like there's at least 30. 30 something. I know we've got a few.
Let's see.
36. Okay. On it.
Well, I was going to count them manually, but okay. That's better.
I'm just gonna point at them like that one, that one, that one. Was that 10? No.
So, a decent amount.
Yeah.
Some
and-
people are currently on hiatus, but we got a good amount of active folk.
Yeah, and we're pretty lenient about it too. Just be active, be friendly,
Be cool.
be kind, rewind. You know, that kind of stuff. What is the criteria for being eligible for the team if someone is looking for a team? You need to stream. You need to be a streamer and actively streaming. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to be there 100% of the time. We don't expect somebody who's going like 24/7 or anything. But be friendly, talk to people, visit other streams on the team. Yeah, like she said, just be a team player and be active. We got Discords. We got. It is not limited to gaming. Like I said, I'm an artist. I do like emotes. I do video production. I do 3D. I do game design. And I've only recently just sort of been hyper focused on gaming, and that's only been a couple of days. Most of the time, I do art stuff. Yeah, like the overlay you're looking at now, I designed that. Still with us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You cut out for a sec though.
Oh, okay. Got a Twitter? I do. It is the same as it appears on screen, Silent Kartoffel, just without the underscore. Yeah, and in fact, our dear Mortanis is also a very talented individual who has,
The other artist here made this.
yeah.
Yes. Kartoffel is actually German for awful cart. It's hard to.
Well, what's your middle name again?
I can't say that on this channel. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have potato icons. Hold on, let me do some clicking. I can click things. I have potatoes, yes. Oh, you're talking about on Twitter. Yeah, potato icon. Kartoffel is actually German for potato.
Oh,
I think it's also
Oh.
Swedish for potato.
yeah, it is.
I get what he means by icon now. Here I was like, emotes! May need art at some point. I might make some art for people.
Might know a guy.
Yeah, might know a guy. Working on some llamas right now. I this has been fun. You know, part of me was like, I'm gonna get on here and clam up, but because you know when you don't have like a project in front of you, sometimes you feel like it's not the same.
Right.
But I've actually really enjoyed this.
Trying to do something kind of different. Still kind of find an identity.
No, thank you.
Good timing.
Yeah.
First video game remember playing Pong. I'm old enough that I actually remember playing Pong.
You know what's funny is I grew up with an Atari, so that's one of the first ones I remember playing too.
Oh, this wasn't an Atari Pong. This was a Pong.
I
You
know.
know, one of the
I know.
dedicated hardware Pongs.
I'm just saying, mine may not have been an arcade machine, but I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Atari 2600. And
Yeah.
I got an NES when I was like 5, so I've been like deep into video games since I was little. And of all
Mm-hmm.
people, my very redneck, very southern grandmother is also my intro into comics. She bought me like a year's of back issues of Marvel Comics when I was
I
like
thought you were
6 or
going to
7.
say that she was into games and she was competitive, and now she's one of the top Fortnite players on the planet. But
Oh, she couldn't
it went
even
to different.
work a Wii mode. Like she couldn't even do like Wii bowling. She's
Darn.
absolutely technologically inept. Like she's one of those who has a Facebook only because she accidentally made it.
Ah, wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. She stumbled into it.
I have played at least $1,000 or more of Mortal Kombat 2 in the mid 90s. I used to get up every morning on a Saturday, walk 5 miles to the bus stop, take the bus to the next town over to go to the
Excuse
arcade
me.
where they just had Mortal Kombat 2. I would spend all day there feeding at quarters, then I would take the bus back, walk 5 miles home every Saturday, sophomore and junior year.
We didn't really have arcades in Alabama, so doubt Kartoffel has done any. Well,
Horrible!
I
No arcades?
actually
Are you kidding me?
actually can counter that. We have this little mom and pop grocery store in my hometown that would occasionally cycle out arcade machines. And yeah, there were a couple of like I don't even remember half the games, but I remember one being some sort of Dragon Ball fighting game because I remember Master Roshi. I remember like seeing this old man. It was before I even knew what Dragon Ball was, but seeing this old man who suddenly got buff, like Master Roshi does. You know, bald old man with a white beard. I was like, what is this? And then years later, when we have Dragon Ball on like Toonami, I'm like, whoa, I have played this game.
Yeah, I fed about 1 million quarters into the type of things.
Played a lot of Soul Calibur, Soul Calibur 2, Mortal Kombat. Probably not near as much invested in it because, yeah, I had games at home. I didn't need to.
Dragon's Lair was another classic one.
Never played that in arcade. Barely played it at all.
I played an awful lot of Killer Instinct and Primal Rage also.
Those I played on console. Like Killer Instinct especially. I love Killer Instinct.
Oh, and Double Dragon, way before it came out for home.
Double Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Initial D.
Pre-NES, yep.
My most recent actual arcade playings would have to be the Initial D machines that actually had little cards that you inserted that would keep your save data.
Ah, that's kind of cool. Karate Fighters. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I did play SNK's. Gosh, what is the Neo Geo fighter? Samurai Showdown. Boom. Samurai Showdown 2 mostly.
I was gonna say there's like 6.
Yeah, Samurai Showdown specific. Played a lot as well.
Yeah.
For my birthday in 6th grade, my parents, because we didn't have a lot, they pooled up with my cousin, whose birthday was nowhere near mine, but wanted to do something simpler. And a local arcade had an after hours. You pay $100 or something like that, and you get all the games you want for free for 4 hours, plus cake and crap. So they pulled their money. They did that. And we had free reign of the arcade that night. And I beat the 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. No, just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, the 4-player one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, $100 for 4 hours is pretty good considering you can cram a lot of games 4 hours.
Especially
for
if
$100,
you're especially if you're bad at them.
Especially if you're playing a game like the Turtles game where you die every seconds or something.
That are
yeah, we just kept
money.
hammering the start button. Yeah, it took 4 of us. It took us about 3 hours, but we did it. But yeah, and so I didn't have a lot of friends, but my cousin did, so we invited like 30 people. So for $100, that was pretty money.
That is killer. That is amazing.
I mean, I would have liked to have eaten my own birthday cake, but everyone else did. But yeah, birthdays aren't for you. So, you have a place here in Houston has a lot of those games, and they rent it out to companies for corporate events. I miss those sort of things. You know, that would be more fun. It's just not the way that the world is going anymore. Online everything now.
Yeah, that, and we were supposed to have killer robots by now, but no, we have tiny cell phones instead.
Pints and Pixels. That sounds pretty awesome. I'm assuming that's beer in video games.
Either that or milk.
Yeah. We've got a place really near me that opened up and vaunted themselves as kind of like a hipster-esque. That's like artisan beers and retro video games, but it did not take off because, I mean, it's interesting, but there's only like 10 people in that age group that think beer and video games is fun to do outside the home, you know?
Right.
Yeah, if I'm going to drink and play video games, I want to do it where I can wear no pants. Damn it.
That is the way of most people, for sure.
I mean, you don't wear pants when you're drinking. That's just after 3 beers, the pants come off. That's just the law. I'm sorry.
It gets hot and the bladder fills up way too fast. Pants are just an inconvenience.
Pushing on the waistband and stuff. But I mean, they tried it. Kudos on them. They also had board game nights, which was pretty fun, but it's not great to watch a bunch of drunk 39-year-olds try to play I don't know, what's that gig? Settlers of Catan, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh man, Catan drunk. Oof.
Yeah. You know, you got people that think that the same joke that they've heard 3,000 times, I got wood for sheep, is funny when they're extremely drunk and shout it across the store. We have a Dave and Buster's close to us, kind of like an adult arcade with a bar, a restaurant surrounded by like an arcade and games. It might not be too terribly bad. We've got a movie theater around here that only does 21 plus, sells drinks, and they have tables that they deliver burgers and pizza to while you're watching movies. That's kind of fun.
I don't know if Huntsville still does, but they did have that. They had a 21 and up theater, or at least they had it sectioned off. You could still do below 21, like on the bottom, and then upstairs was 21 and up, and they had like recliners and stuff.
That is nice. I mean, for me, it's a bit
Recliners
of a
with cup
drive. It's like an
holders.
hour.
Yeah, same here. That's a little ways out for me too.
Yeah. I did see Rogue One with a pint, which was kind of nice.
I don't think I
But
ever
I mean,
really utilized it.
this area is way behind the times. We actually just got reserved seating for the first time, like 3 months ago in all our theaters. So
Whoa.
yeah, before that, you would still line up like it was the '90s, and you were watching The Matrix on a Friday night.
I kind of remember those days, and I remember the first Spider-Man series Sony did with Tobey Maguire, lining up to see that one, and there was actually a guy like dressed up in as Spider-Man, like going to the movie in front of me. And
Nice.
I don't remember who I like. My buddy I went with, I think his name was like David, and we were going in like, look, that guy's dressed as Spider-Man. You know, the back in my little podunk town, we did that was just the biggest deal. Now people do
Funny
that
story.
like on
I
a
did
Friday.
that. Yeah, I did that myself. I went and saw Avengers this year, and I was cosplaying as Fat Thor. Didn't even know that, but
Accidental Fat Thor.
I just showed up, and look at that. Everyone's like, "Hey, it's Fat Thor." So
I mean, if that's true, like that's my daily attire. Is I live
yeah,
the Fat Thor life.
never seen reserve seating until I went to Monaco for the first time. It was like 20, and they turned the thing around for me to pick seats. I was like, "What is this sorcery?"
Right.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of that. We still did lineups here, and then I went and visited a friend in Utah in like 2015, and we went and saw Kingsman. He's like, "All right, pick your seat." I'm like, middle. I can see the screen." He's like, "No, literally, pick your seat from this." Oh my goodness! So I can pick a seat, and no one else could sit there, and I don't have to wait in line for 4 hours. He's like, "Yeah, why would you ever wait in line for movies?" I'm like, "I want to move here forever." And
Yeah,
now we got
yeah,
it here. So
yeah. I know your pain.
I even was doing 2 hours not that long ago. I want to say it was Into the Spider-Verse. I had like a 2 hour line to see just last December. So
Ouch.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was like opening weekend. So
Okay, okay.
and it turned out to be a good movie, and that's
Yeah.
why. So
Oh, that's probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. That's the best Spider-Man movie.
yeah,
Probably
it's the best Spider-Man that they've
superhero
done.
movie.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man.
Most
That's,
local theaters now have reserved seating, and they have these fancy recliner seats too. Yeah, thankfully, theaters have actually kept pace with. I don't want to say technology, but not sucking. You know, back in the late '90s, before we built our new one in this area, the only two theaters we had were the one that showed pornos on weekends, and the floor was always sticky, and we were pretty sure it was soda, pretty sure. And then the other place that was a rundown bucket of bolts that literally had roof leaking and stuff like that. And you could sneak in if you came through the side door because no one bothered to watch that one. I loved that place. It was great.
I don't know if they still do, but Huntsville actually, up until like a year or two ago, has a dollar theater. I don't know if they still do now, but that's the last time
Ah,
I knew
those
about
are
it.
nice.
Yes. And what it is essentially, you know, a popular movie that's about to end its run. They would just like charge $1 to go see it.
Yep. That leaky roof one, after they built the new one, which they built here in '99, and one of the movies that anyone ever saw in it was obviously Phantom Menace. The old theater was like, well, shit, now what do we do? So they turned it into a dollar movie theater, and I got to see, Last of the Mohicans and Jaws for $1 each, but the place just couldn't keep up. They thought it would be such a great idea, and everyone would flock to see these blockbusters, but you know, they were charging $1, so a full theater was like $100 a day. So woo.
Yeah. But I guess it makes more sense than trying to, like, the way that this one did it. They just got movies that were about to run out rather
Yeah.
than reacquiring old stuff.
Yeah, because those reels are still super expensive. Even
That's like music.
I can't imagine it. Yeah,
400-year-old music that's still owned by somebody. You, even if you're just like, you're not technically supposed to buy, say, like one piece of sheet music and then make copies of it. You're supposed to technically buy every piece of sheet music that your orchestra uses, or band, or whatever situation. So that is ridiculously expensive just to purchase sheet music.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with Amy as well. I generally don't like people enough and going out in social situations that I'd rather my movie theater experience be at my house where I could sit there and not wonder why the idiot is talking during the entire movie and have to yell at them. That idiot is now me, and that's okay.
Yeah, I like to. I definitely don't like to do premieres anymore. I barely do movie theaters. Like I used to be a couple of years ago. I used to be like really, really bad about going to see movies just all the time. And now I might see 2 a year.
Yeah, I've seen I think 3 so far this year, and I'm on the fence if I'm going to see any more, and that includes It Part 2, I hate to say, but or the clown in the front checking his cell phone. What the heck is wrong with that guy? No joke, I've actually in the last like 3 years straight out just chewed people out in theaters. It's happened enough that I've had to do it multiple times, not once, not twice. And I don't go to movies that often. So about 50% of the time I've actually had to chew people out. It's the one time I don't mind confrontation because it's really dark and no one can see my face. So I don't mind yelling at them then.
Oh, I will actively stank eye somebody in a situation like that. I'll like somebody will kick my seat and I'll be like, and just stare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just wait.
I don't mind getting super passive aggressive about it, and I'll just lean forward and loudly when they're talking. Oh, gee, wow! I am so glad that I paid movie premium prices and movie premium prices for food to watch you talk during the movie.
I didn't pay $12 to come sit here and be kicked in the back.
Mm-hmm. Went and saw The Last Jedi, and someone's phone. Well, then some guy walked up, grabbed the phone, and chucked it across the theater.
Wow.
I'm not that confrontational, though I did go see Lord of the Rings co-worker who literally kicked a theater seat in half because the kid in front of him kept talking during the intro shot where Galadriel's doing the War of the Ring overview and, you know, all of that. He kept talking, and he kicked the damn seat in half. And we've got a raid. Asian Anime Dude is raiding. Welcome. Hello. Howdy. Kid had it coming. Just saying. I agree. I mean, I wasn't going to do anything about it, but my friend just leaned back, put his boot up, and just kicked the top of the chair, cracked it right in half. Surprisingly, did not get kicked out.
My high school typing teacher told us about a story when he went and actually saw 2001: A Space Odyssey in theaters, and he was in college, at the time, and he and his whole group of people who were in there. Thank you for that raid. It's just now showing up on the alerts. It was definitely on time, but so they all sit in the row. They all pull out their hidden beer cans, and in unison, and it echoed, and somehow they didn't get kicked out.
Yeah. That really cheap theater I mentioned that did pornos on the side was right next to an AM/PM Arco where they sold, you know, like 64-ounce sodas and whatnot for $1. And so when I was still dating who would become my ex-wife at the time, we went and we were going to see a movie and she wanted to sneak in a soda. So we went next door to the AM/PM, filled up like a 52-ounce soda, and she put it in her jacket and zipped it up. And then we're shuffling around trying to act like she was pretending to be, you know, pregnant. And as we're shuffling our way on in, trying to look inconspicuous past the people that were manning the booth, the guy's like, "We don't care if you bring an outside drink. You don't have to do that." Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
I'm straight up
we don't care. It doesn't do our salary any good. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we went through all that effort, and you know, there's the entire Mission Impossible music playing the entire time. We're trying to figure out. Nope, they don't care. Go ahead, walk in, drink.
I have straight up rattled walking into theaters before, just walking every step.
It's obviously not the first person to try to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't care. I mean, it was a theater. They didn't get paid if they were preventing people, and they didn't really have concessions. It was like that 1 popcorn thing that was obviously from the 1950s, you know.
1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. 1950s, you know. I'm sorry, that alert.
Kid congratulations, it's 40 ounces. Oh my God,
That
the
alert.
Ouija. That Ouija. Oh, dear
Oh,
God.
that was
Well played.
fantastic.
Well played.
Thank you, our dear moderator who did that,
I,
Miss Hobo
I know
Slayer.
someone set that up while the stream was live, and that's
Yeah.
golf clap.
That is it. Just
Yeah,
realized
I used to do movie theaters all the time. There was one year that was our chosen pastime. My friend and I, right out of high school, we did like 54 movies in one year, which
Yeah.
was more than one a week. And now, no, I'd rather just stay at home and sure I don't get to watch it the first 4 months it's out, but whatever. Spider-Man: Homecoming, I didn't see in theater Tuesday, so.
I still haven't seen Far From Home.
That's what I meant. Far From Home, and
Yeah.
that comes out on Tuesday, so I'll be
Okay.
picking that up. I can't wink. I'll be picking that one up. Wink. Did you just say wink? So super excited about. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see It Part 2, but other than that, I think
really
that's
good.
basically. I'll be honest. I don't actually think I'm gonna see Star Wars in theater this year. I think this will be the first Star Wars I've not seen in theater. I just don't. I don't know if I can get it up for that movie anymore.
Yeah.
Made Kurt Koffel go see It too. Well, I mean, It Part 1 was just so phenomenal. It's kind of hard not to.
I mean, we are close enough that we could basically throw things at each other, so why not? I see a cat.
That's a good point. Yep,
uh,
that's my Torty. She's in timeout because she pooped on a bookshelf at 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Cats be like that sometimes.
And gastrointestinal problem. She can't help it. It just kind of happens. It's just amazing it made it to the shelf. Kind of parabolic arc. So probably go see Star Wars, but I didn't go see, and I still don't really care to see Solo. I actually did
same.
enjoy Solo. Not great, but probably better than Last Jedi.
I didn't hate
Rogue
Last
One's still
Jedi.
the best, though.
Yeah.
Rogue One's still the best.
Definitely best side story. Well, it's not technically a side story, but it is.
Definitely post Disney acquisition.
Yeah.
I only have one gripe with the entirety of Rogue One, and yeah,
I mean,
Childish Gambino made a good solo for me. Rogue One was amazing. Yep.
you could just give me the Alan Tudyk voice lines, and I'm happy with the movie. Just if
No. I mean,
if that's all you showed
yes.
me in Rogue One, I would still take it.
Yeah. To be fair, he does amazing voice acting in just about everything now. But I think Rogue One would have been honest to God better if they'd have just cut the scene in the center with Dad Vader doing his "I hope you don't choke on your aspirations, son." And the first time you see Vader is when he lights up the lightsaber in the hallway at the end. And if they'd have kept him out of the trailers and made no mention of James Earl Jones and just you go into it blind and then suddenly, bam, Vader.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
If he didn't sound 60 years older than he did in the first one.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
not like
don't
he
get me wrong,
built
I
it.
still enjoyed it, and Vader making dad puns has been in the series the entire time, but still, I mean,
That's true.
it would have been just so powerful to just that shot of the lightsaber slow extending, lighting up, and being like, oh, we be screwed now. That would have been amazing. But Rogue One,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It's like, and then the thing, I'm a CG artist, and I have, because of all the years of schooling I have, and not saying it makes me the best artist in the world, but I do have an eye for it now, and I will say I can pick bad CGI out of like a Where's Waldo poster, basically. Like I can pick up on that, and even still, I will not say that I feel like Tarkin or Leia were Uncanny Valley. I feel like that was some of the best CGI I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was perfectly acceptable for what it should have been. I mean, it's no worse than the Marvel de-aging stuff that they've been doing very, very well. I mean, it is the same text, so.
Yeah. The Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War was a little more on the nose.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean, it's
goodness.
just because of exactly how much no one really liked at him with the team. But Ant-Man, what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Drawing a Keaton, not Michael Keaton,
Douglas,
Michael Douglas. There we go. That was really well done. So
Yeah, and
yes, head did look really weird.
even the previews that I've seen, because I still haven't seen the movie, and I'm in no hurry, of Captain Marvel with
Yeah,
Samuel
L.
Jackson.
Jackson
Yeah,
being an entire CG character for the movie. Yeah,
yeah.
so I look forward to seeing. I mean, considering how bad it looked in Tron Legacy,
We don't.
it's come a long way.
I still like Tron Legacy. Okay.
Oh, Tron Legacy is an amazing movie. And best movie ever. I will defend that to my dying day.
I actually get headaches.
It's an enjoyable movie.
I get headaches trying to rewatch the original Tron, but I actually like Tron Legacy, like to sit and watch it over.
Yeah, it's really well done, and it's made better by the fact that it's a Daft Punk album. So
It really is. It's Daft Punk and Ducati.
yeah,
That's
really,
essentially.
yeah, that is true.
I mean, those are
Really
the two
well done.
things of the movie. That's the only thing. That's the only movie I've ever watched that actively made me want a crotch rocket.
All right, see you later, Max Sense. Thank you for stopping by. Very much
Yes, it's been
appreciated.
fun. Thank
and
you.
hope to catch you soon. And another follow, Blue Dog 42. Very appreciated.
That Ouija stare.
Whoop whoop whoop.
Yes, that was actually pretty well done.
Very.
There's something else I was gonna say.
Mm.
CGI. Yes. It was on that topic. It. Back to it. Okay. A lot of people. Of course, there are lots of people who I just knew were gonna be like this. Like a lot of critics I watch. Like I watch a lot of red letter media, half in the bag,
Sure.
and they crap on everything.
Yeah.
So I expected that, and I expected a couple other ones to crap on it. But honestly, to me, personally, it was a better movie than the first one.
I've heard that from a
first one.
decent amount of people. So
I love the first one, and I still think it's better because it's basically, funny enough, it's the miniseries again, just a lot more like the book. They reference a lot of the child stuff. They don't go to it in total detail, but I mean there are child scenes, some of that de-aging CGI you talked about, and but to me it was a way better movie. There's more CGI in it, but it works, especially for that ending. You can't do worse than the miniseries ending.
Giant spider, not really your bag.
Giant stop motion spider's not really my bag.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Super impressed how well they did the casting. I mean, even from the get-go with the first one, it was absolute spot on. And the people that they got to do the adult versions were just amazing. And I like that they actually asked, what was it? They asked him who they would want to have play older Richie. And they're like, John Heater.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. John Heater. Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite played him. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And it's just perfect casting. So
yes.
Stan and Eddie look like kid. Yep.
They look just like that child grew up and played that part. Especially Eddie. Eddie is like just 100% spot on. I will say like Isaiah Mustafa really impressed me. It's really hard to see him and not immediately think I'm on a horse. Hello, ladies. I'm in it.
Yeah, all right, that's true. Nonetheless.
So I will say, like, much like Mayhem from the insurance commercials, I feel as though that character, that person is actually a good actor outside of just like tiny commercials. Like, not everybody can do that, but it's so hard not to look at them and think of those commercials at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yes, it too is good. It too is very good.
I hope to maybe see it sometime soon.
They even do the ritual.
The Ritual of Chud.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Not gonna spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I mean that's something that you never would have expected them to actually put in the movie.
And I'm pretty sure they gave it away in the trailers for it, but it did actually shock me in the movie. But Henry's not dead, right?
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
I mean, he's not dead. He didn't die in the well.
No, he's not dead.
Okay, good. I love inside jokes. I have to be a part of one someday. Nice. Okay, I mean, in the book, he's basically the driving force of the second part, so it was kind of
Yeah.
awkward to me when they kicked him into the well. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, like she said, when he says it's like the miniseries, it's like the miniseries.
ah,
Uh, there's a few little swaps that aren't in the book, but they work.
well, that's good. I'll have to give it a watch.
Mm-hmm. It's like I said, I think it's better than the first one. Honestly, the only CGI that really looked weird to me was Kid Ben. Like back on that subject, like a shot of child Ben, because I don't know if they filmed this early on, and they just had to do a little bit of de-aging, or they shot it recently and like they're full CGI, because you could not make Finn Wolfhard look the same as he did in the first movie now.
No, he had an amazing spurt, and it's noticeable between the seasons of Stranger Things.
Yeah,
so,
like that hit him
yeah.
like a dump truck.
Yeah.
But Ben is the only one that looks even slightly odd, like Uncanny Valley. And it's more his hair than anything else. It looks too dark, like they went back and darkened his hair.
At least they had a really good Ben this time through.
Wasn't Chris Pratt, but
No, but at least they had age-appropriate actors for it rather than
John
early
Ritter?
20s. Well, no, I mean John Ritter didn't play a kid, but like Seth Green did not look like he was 12 or 13 in that movie, miniseries, you know?
well, though I think he actually wasn't he? Because he was
No,
he was very
he
young.
looked like he was at least high school. Now I got to.
Thank you for that follow.
Let's see. Seth Green was born in 1974 in the miniseries 90. So by the power of my calculator,
Okay,
he
what
would have
I
been
heard-
16.
Okay, so he would have been about the part. He'd be just slightly
About.
older. But
Okay, that's not as bad as like CW casting of high schoolers. So.
Yeah. And thank you for that follow. With another Ouija.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I gonna say related to that? And what I find funny about Seth Green in the miniseries is how it's by the book, and he's afraid of I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Right.
So he's afraid of the werewolf in the sport.
Oh, and then
Then he grew up
yeah.
to play a werewolf on Buffy.
Buffy. Right. I never even thought about that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
See
I mean, I really liked the casting of the original miniseries quite a bit. It's a little weird because I can't see them as anything but they're actors. You know?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's a very star-studded cast, but then you hear
Yeah.
things like, "Why does he have to be so mean?"
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, John Ritter's always going to be John Ritter. I mean, John Boy, I grew up watching The Walton, so he was always John Boy to me. He couldn't be anything but a Walton for me.
See,
so.
that's the problem I had with him. It's like, well, that's John Boy.
Yeah. And then
and a
Annette
little bit of-
O'Toole was always for Superman 3 for me, and
Yeah.
then Smallville. So
Yeah.
it just didn't quite work for. And Harry,
Oh yeah, Night Court.
yeah, unfortunately just passed recently too. Yeah. So you can't see them outside their iconic roles. I mean,
Right.
and Tim Curry's just Tim Curry.
Tim Curry can be
as
anything.
Pennywise is every character he's ever played. He just is
Kiss
that
me,
character.
fat boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like that way too often where there's actors that you can't see them as anything but their role, and that does kind of
Right,
suck.
Right. And
So.
even Seth Green, like I look at him and I'm like, whoa, that's Seth Green.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
I hate to admit this kind of, but I also had a bit of an Austin Powers problem with John Boy as Bill. Like not only was
Austin
a
Powers problem.
yes, because every time they'd show a scene with him, like his stutter's really forced, and I'd be
Mhm.
like, mole,
Ah,
mole,
yes.
mole, mole, mole.
Wait, have you finally seen Austin Powers now?
No, I just know that. I haven't
You just
seen
know
it.
that part. Of course. Of course. I mean, I've got all three of them. You know where to find them.
Yeah,
Should
and
have to
Seth
watch them.
Green's in that too.
Yes, indeed. And he's one of the better parts. He's not cool enough to watch them. I know. I just
I'm
don't
terrible.
understand
I'm
this.
terrible.
The first one is just exemplary. The second one is almost as good, maybe even better, depending. So, I don't know. Even the third one's funny, just not phenomenally. But
The sec the second one's where he really coined his Shrek voice, isn't it?
yeah, it's I mean, to be fair, almost all his Scottish accents are basically the same. So, Fat Bastard is very much the same as his own father, who he played in So I Married an Axe Murderer, which is a phenomenal movie if you haven't seen that one. Second one is definitely the best. I could give you that if only because of Mini Me. It really elevates it, and Rob Lowe as young, you know, number one.
Oh, Rob Lowe's in it.
Yeah, he plays young Robert Wagner. Well, number one.
Speaking of Shrek,
Oh,
did you
number
know?
two, excuse me, because of the joke. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry. Hmm.
speaking of Shrek, did you know that it was almost Chris Farley
Yeah,
and
that would.
Invader?
I mean, would have been weird.
Yeah, and Invader Zim was almost Billy West.
Yeah, I think you actually linked me about that long time ago,
Funny
which
enough,
is
he actually
blows my
sounded
mind.
very similar.
Hmm. I was watching. I don't ask me the voice actor's name right now, but after Into the Florpus came out, I was watching him doing signings in character, and it was pretty funny because there were cosplayers coming up dressed as Gurr and Dib, and he would just riff off with them in character, and it's just amazing. And
That
I
is
guess
amazing.
Joan and Vasquez basically said that he wanted everybody to keep their voices as close to natural, so they weren't doing a voice. So it's just basically just talking a little bit faster and higher pitch for everything. But would
Except,
kill for that.
see, Gurr is very heavily edited because it's just a guy
Oh yeah,
very normally talking.
yeah.
The same guy who does Bloaty's Pizza Hog.
Yes, that is very. You've seen Into the Florpus, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You
I have.
actually watched the movie
Yeah,
now. Yeah, you were going to buy me a million pizzas and throw the pizzas and become a giant pizza.
uh,
Yeah,
I love Gurr, and not
it
in
was
the
it was very well done.
not in the typical fangirl. I only
Right,
know of Gurr because I've seen it on a T-shirt, but I
right.
love Gurr.
Actually, watched. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, agree.
I've watched a behind the scenes with that, and apparently, like the way that the voice actor for Dib played it off, it's like he abuses me in like a really funny way. Like he's like Jonan, he doesn't let me out of my cage. Kind of like how I am with art. See, that's why I have
Ah, yes.
this blanket up, so I hide my like prison bars and chains
Mm-hmm.
and my
The
what is
basement you're locked in. Yeah,
the basement I'm locked in with my easel.
I had no idea until because I'd seen Invaders original and then I rewatched it before the movie and then I watched the movie and I still had absolutely no idea though I'm not a huge fan that Professor Membrane is voiced by Squidward Tentacles.
Okay, that's new to me. I didn't know that.
Well then, there's your little piece is nice, pieces
Peace is
pieces.
nice.
I it was great. I enjoyed the movie mostly. I mean, it was just amazing to see in HD,
Yeah.
and widescreen. Even if they kind of undid some of the continuity from the show, but I'm
they
not sure exactly why Dib's spaceship had reverted back to its original personality bit, but
maybe
I'll let him.
maybe he didn't agree with the ending. That
Maybe.
happens sometimes.
Wouldn't surprise me. So
Like trying to think of another show like that. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. They went back and undid a lot of the ending.
I guess that's true.
And since Amy's been watching it, I had to go and watch Evangelion, and the ending to that is definitely omitted in the follow ups.
Ah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
will
the art
say
style changing. Yep,
the
agree.
biggest difference. I know there were little subtle differences, but the biggest obvious glaring difference was Professor Membrane. He was much
Hmm.
shorter and much more like round.
No, no, no. The most obvious and most glaring difference is Gaz. She has
Yeah.
her eyes open. Her eyes are open the entire show.
Well,
Yep,
the
Gaz was a lot
open
different.
to
Yeah,
me that
normally she's
wasn't.
squinty the entire time. That was major part of her character, and also how she didn't care. Her hair was entirely different as well. Yep, she actually talked and gave a crap as opposed to just being vaguely disinterested in things.
Well, that was more.
Everything about her art style and character layout was completely different.
I don't feel as though that was as glaring as Professor Membrane though. Like I noticed the changes, but it what to me it just didn't it didn't affect me as much because I
Uh,
remember her feature episode. I remember the midnight release game episode that she did,
hmm.
which is very accurate to how actual midnight releases go.
Yeah, true.
Like that, in my experience, that has been picking up a game at midnight.
Yeah. No, that one was the glaring one. I agree. The art style was fairly different, but it felt homage like. But yeah, her shirt being black versus new one being light blue. There was a lot. That's what caught me the most. Was almost immediately. I think she was still squinty in the opening scenes when they're eating breakfast, and then she goes to
There are
disinfect, which is almost entirely reminiscent of suiting up for the Upside Down in the first season of Stranger Things, with even like little particles floating in the air, which I thought was great. But then
yeah.
every scene after that, she had her eyes completely open, and she was a heck of a lot more
Well, they
engaged.
just included her a lot more. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to think. Normally, she was just a piece of furniture in the old series.
yeah.
I mean,
And I
she.
did like that. Apparently, the comic, there was a comic that was supposedly canon up until this. He actually stayed in the toilet in that as well. That was canon apparently.
Didn't he have plans to
So
actually like actively kill Zim at one point?
no, I mean Zim hiding out in the toilet for a while. That's what his plan was just camping in the toilet until he came up with something that was in the comic as well.
Oh,
Yeah, her
okay, I didn't know
shoes
that.
are big and puffy boots versus a little pointy. Yep, I agree. Amy knows where I'm coming from.
Oh
I
yeah, I
mean, I
know.
still love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I
Right,
absolutely,
right.
but
The new style is not so different that it makes me not want to watch it.
yeah, yep,
I feel like
exactly.
it's just updated. I mean,
Maybe.
you got to think about when was Invaders Zim made? Like 99, 2000.
Yeah,
This is 2019.
true.
I mean, yeah, Rocco's Modern Life's reboot looked a lot more true to form, I guess would be a way to put it.
Yeah,
But I don't mind the style update. And I haven't actually finished the Rocco's reboot or ending. I don't know if
neither
it's
have
true
I.
ending. I'm kind of scared of it because Rocco is a very current events show, and I feel well. It's trying to be current events. I don't think it was always,
No,
but it was very product of its time. Is what I'm getting at.
they still kind of hit with that quite a bit, given that a major theme is that they've been out of touch since the 90s, and people are telling them why don't they just go back to the 90s where they belong.
Yeah,
So they touch on it fairly well.
I feel like that's going to be a problem when the Animaniacs come back too.
I am hopeful, but you got to temper. I mean, DuckTales did good, is
Yeah,
doing good, is great, so it's possible, and it's
but
got the original voice cast.
see,
So
that's the thing is, Ducktales
I have to
is.
agree with Amy on that too.
I guess I'm too much of a creepy girl, and I enjoy the weird, darker tone with the sharp edges, and I guess that makes sense. But this, you also have to think theatrical release of a cartoon will always look and feel different than a TV
Yeah,
show version because the budget is just vastly different,
that is true. So
and the time frame,
Animaniacs coming back might be good. I hope so.
hopefully. But Animaniacs is definitely a current events show, and it's. I feel like it's going to be difficult to keep with the times and not adult party cartoon like Ren and Stimpy did.
Yeah, they already had plenty of adult jokes and
Yeah, but just to keep it like it was and not overdo
fingerprints. No thanks.
it. Yeah, but that was like a sneak in. That wasn't the average.
That's true. That's true. Now, you'd ever see Nightmare Gas in the new style? Done right, at least. Point.
Yeah. I feel like they just couldn't go back and do the same show anyway.
True. I'm just glad that we got more of it and that
Yeah.
it didn't suck.
Agreed.
I am starting to lose my voice a little bit here, and we've been live for 2 hours. So, what do you say?
I say, yeah, this might be a good stopping point.
Yeah. Well, you are in control, so if you want to look for Raid, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope the viewers did as well.
Yes, I had a lot of fun as well, so yeah, I will look for a raid. This has been great. I hope it continues like it has so far. We got a few people we could raid. Chat, do you have any opinions? We have Maticus Long, Captain Coots, Game Camiller, and Treasure Hunter Tom.
It's been good hanging. Agreed. I vote Treasure Hunter Tom.
I think that would be the way to go too. I think he's kind of back from a hiatus.
Yeah, she said it's the first time he's been out in a while. So why don't we greet him back properly?
That sounds good to me. So there are underscores. I'm trying to do this properly. Yes. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Very much appreciated. Y'all hang on for a raid. We will catch you next week. Different hosts, same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm going ahead and typing this out while I'm thinking of it. All right. Yes. Have a good night, and hopefully we will see you next week with. Do you know who's on?
Palace and other people.
Other people. Yes.
Yeah.
Not us. We will see you next time.
You better push the button here pretty quick. Finally, there it goes. Okay.
Welcome to all the new